I'm here today with Brendan to talk about Stress Test, a new band with new music coming out, and I'm really excited to pick your brain about that and maybe talk a little bit about Unto Others. I feel like I'm allowed to, right?
Sure, yeah, whatever you want, man.
All right. I know I just need to check because you never know. But first of all, let's talk about Stress Test. Uh, how did it all get started?
I mean, the songs I started working on years ago, pretty much like right around the time the pandemic started. I had a lot more time, to sit around and fuck around. And right, music I haven't really been involved with for a long time. It's been like a decade since I've been in any kind of like extreme metal type project or really aggressive project at that time. So took me a long time because I didn't work on it consistently. So it was over, here and there over several years, but Unto Others had not much going on over the last like year or so, or we were recording an album and all that, but we weren't touring as much. We were doing little one-off shows like flying to Austin and going to Salt Lake City and stuff like that. But I had a lot more time, so I just kind of got a lot more motivated recently to put it together and actually make it a band. So got Dylan here and a bunch of my old friends to join up and finally recorded it, and here we are. Yeah, trying to get
So,
it going.
so let me ask Dylan this: that he had to persuade you to join the band, or it was an easy yes?
It was an easy yes. I mean, Brandon's an awesome musician. I've known him for a long time. He's good friends. So joining up with it was with what sounded like a fun project with a lot of energy and a new kind of path from what he's been doing recently really just sounded like a lot of fun to do. It
It
was an
sounds
easy
like,
yes.
I mean, the two tracks that you guys released on July 12th are a lot of fun. Thrash with some punk influences for sure.
Mhm.
How long did it take you guys to work on those two tracks? Is that something you guys been working on for a while, or it was really quick and easy once all the guys got together?
Bastard Behavior, which ended up being the title track of the single, was actually the last song that I wrote before going into the studio. I think I'd already booked the studio time and had just been working on those riffs, and I was like, well, fuck, I should hurry this up and finish this one so we can get it recorded. And I probably because it was the newest, I liked it the most. The other ones I'd heard 500 times, playing them constantly, trying to make them better. And this one I was like, no, this is way better because it's fucking brand new. So I recorded it. Yeah, and the other one, Eternal Bliss, was one of the first ones that I wrote years ago. So, I mean, they both came together pretty quick. The lyrics I wrote for both of them, pretty recently. The lyrics for Eternal Bliss have gone through like multiple different versions, but Bastard Behavior just kind of came together pretty quickly at the end there.
Yeah, the two tracks packed like this one-two punch. I love the aggression. I love the sound. I love that the edginess that it has because it's not overly polished. It really has almost like a the tracks have this live feel to them. So I can imagine playing them live or listening to them as far as the studio recording is concerned. You're not going to see much of a drop from one to the other. The intensity is going to be exactly the same.
Yeah, I hope so. Um,
Are you guys planning on doing any live shows? Playing any gigs, even it doesn't have to be a tour or anything like that, but anything around where you guys from?
that's the plan for sure. Yeah, that's the goal. We're all pretty busy people. Like everyone in the band is in other bands. Adam, the other guitarist, is working towards a degree right now. So we've got a lot going on. Everyone has a career and everything else, but so it's gonna be difficult. It's much more difficult than if we would have started this band 10 years ago. But we're gonna make it work however we can. Especially Unto Others has a lot coming up. So we'll be back for like 2 months at a time and then leaving again. A lot of stuff that's unannounced, so I got to be careful not to fuck that up.
But what I'm saying is, you're not planning on this to be just like a project, a one-off thing. You're planning on carrying
No,
it on.
yeah, for sure. It's gonna be a real band that plays shows. Not as much as I would probably like to. Definitely not as much as Unto Others. But yeah, we're gonna make it work whenever we can.
Because it kicks ass. These two tracks really kick ass. So the
Thanks,
question
man.
is, when are you going to hit us with some more?
Well, all the other tracks are still in their like final mixing phases. It's funny because like you said, it sounding kind of like I don't know if you said raw, but live or whatever. The mixes that we got, like the first renders from Gabe Johnston, the producer from Falcon. I was like, this sounds pretty good. Let's just let's release this, you know. They weren't done being mixed yet. So to me, it sounded good since the first shit that he sent us. But um, we went, I think, when was that? We went to the studio a few weeks ago.
A couple weeks
Like
ago,
2.5 weeks ago now.
Last things on it.
Yeah, I redid a few vocal parts, added some little leads and stuff. And so I don't know how long it'll be until we get the final mixes for everything else, but we'll have another single coming out. Probably just one. I did the two because they're so short. Most of the songs are pretty short.
But I
So
love that. I mean, that's kind of the style. It plays into the style of the sound of the band, and it plays into the songs perfectly, into the lyrical content. I mean, you guys are not Opeth, so you're not expecting like a 12 plus minute song here. I think you want something punchy, something that comes across really quick and packs a punch with it. And I felt like these two tracks definitely did that. And it just makes you want to listen to it more and more and more because, you know, of the shortness of it.
yeah, that's what I was hoping, man. That's just kind of the way my brain works too. It's probably more to do with ADHD than anything else, but I'm just like, all right, the cool part, and then the other cool part, and then should we go back to the first part, or no, fuck it, let's just keep going, you know? And it's like kind of a linear thing. And in fact, when we in the studio, I was like, maybe I should make some parts come back so it's kind of more of a traditional song structure. It makes more sense. I did that a little bit, but I mean, the songs are all still, the longest one barely cracked 3 minutes, and I think we just chopped a bunch of that off. So
I
the,
love it how you say ADHD when you're young. When you're my age, you say dementia. The two kind of pack
that's
the
what it
same.
feels like. That's
The,
you know,
the
my
two
wife.
Yeah, the two packed
I
a
have to tell
similar
her.
punch, which is like if the song is too long, I even forget how I got there. It's like when I was telling my son the other day, I got high watching Prometheus, and then I got to a certain point in the movie where I was like, how the fuck did I get here? Okay,
Yeah,
let me go back to the last scene that I remember, and then I did that 5 times in a row because I kept forgetting how I got to that point. So with songs like this, it's impossible, dude. Like I can have all the mushrooms that I want. I'm still gonna be able to enjoy these songs fully.
Yeah.
yeah. You can listen to it again, and it's like the first time.
Exactly,
That's
exactly.
Slam it right
yeah.
back in.
That's
I,
funny.
I
I
think
think
like
I
you know
feel high
like
just from watching Prometheus, even if I didn't, you know, take mushrooms. So,
this music is perfect for those of us like you know here in Canada where we can buy all this stuff legally and enjoy it. This kind of music is perfect. You can listen to the same song over and over again. It always feels like you're listening to it for the first time.
yeah, that's. I mean, it wasn't really a conscious effort. I didn't try to make short songs, but that's just kind of how it turned out. And you know, when I started the band, I started working on my punk project. It was originally supposed to be a lot, you know, more traditionally punk sounding, but I don't know. I think it's like, I think it was Scotty from Tank Crimes. I watched him in an interview talking about how like punks that play guitar, eventually, if you get too good at guitar, you're just gonna start playing metal songs. And it's like, that's just kind of what happened. I wasn't like, let's start a thrash band, you know, it's just
But
making
but but
regular
th- but
music.
does this exercise a little bit of a muscle within you guys that otherwise you wouldn't be able to do? I mean, like you're not going to be able to play some of these riffs. You're not going to be able to do some of these songs, obviously, with unto others. So does this give you an opportunity to just express a different side of yourself as an artist?
Yeah, 100% for sure. Um, I mean, you know, I used to be in a lot more extreme bands when I was younger, like do metal bands and punk bands and different thrash bands and stuff back in the day. But it's been a while, like I said, since I've done that, and I never stopped, you know, enjoying the music and playing that kind of stuff on guitar. I just, you know, haven't been putting my energy there. Um, and yeah, so it's been nice to kind of return to that for sure.
I honestly hope you guys don't change the production behind it because that rawness of these tracks, I think it's perfect for the band and I think it's perfect for the sound. Like I honestly feel like these days when you listen to a band you know on record and you go see them live, you're not necessarily getting the same band on both spectrums. And with this kind of sound for the kind of band that you guys are, I feel like that sense of realism is important because I don't think you can play the songs any different live than what I hear them from this studio with this kind of mix. It just has that like you guys are playing in my living room. Maybe it's the mushrooms talking, but you know.
Yeah, maybe maybe. I'm glad it sounds that way to you. Yeah, I really like it. Gabe did a great job, and we didn't add, you know, a bunch of fluff and shit to it. There's no, I mean, there's, you know, there's parts where there's a rhythm guitar playing and two leads that we obviously can't do live with two guitars, but those are few and far between. I mean, there's hardly even solos or anything like that. I mean, there's no solos on this one. I mean, it just didn't work out that way. You know, the songs are just they start and then the next part starts and then the song's fucking over and I said what I wanted to say and I thought about that in the studio. I was like, shit, should we be adding like you know, cooler guitar stuff to this, but I feel like there's just no reason to just add stuff when it didn't feel necessary in the first place.
Yeah.
And that's what I'll tell everyone, when in actuality it's because I can't solo. So
So that's what you're going with.
yeah, I'm gonna it's not the vision, the artistic vision. So that's why.
A little bit of column A and a little bit of column B. Let's just kind of
Yeah.
go with that. I gotta ask you guys this. What the fuck is in the water in Oregon that there's so many fucking cool ass bands coming out of that part of the United States? Like you guys are like the new Seattle, but just with better sound.
Well, you know what Portland and Seattle have in common is shitty ass weather for most of the year. So I think people are really inspired. You know, I don't know, I'm just speculating here, but I think people probably get really inspired to do creative things when you can't uh go outside and enjoy the sun. And also everybody here that I know is probably gonna talk shit for me even saying this because everyone hates the fucking sun here. All summer long, everybody posts and complains about how hot it is. I fucking love it. Uh, you know, if Arizona didn't suck politically and, you know, also like have a huge water access problem, I'd probably want to go live there. But what are you gonna do?
Listen, you're talking to a guy who lives in Toronto. We barely get any
Yeah.
sun. We get like 1 month of summer, and the rest is just
Yeah.
fucking winter all the time. So you get no sympathy here.
Yeah.
That sounds nice.
But yeah, I don't know, man. And we're
But you
actually
guys
both.
like, but it's crazy, dude. I go to shows, like I go to a lot of shows in Toronto, and more often than not, when there's a band that I've never heard before, and then after the show, I go to talk to them, I find out they're from like Portland or something, like Hoaxed. Like when I discover Unto Others, like I had no idea who Unto Others was. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that I knew because I didn't. And I went to see the tour that you guys were on with Napalm Death and Behemoth and Arch Enemy. And I'm like, well, one of these is not like the others, that is for sure. So I went early because I always go early because I want to check out every single band on the bill because you never know when you're going to discover something. And you guys blew me away. It was like, what the fuck? Where has this band been? And then I found out Portland. I'm like, all right, well, Oregon area there. Like you guys got something going on, either the weed or the water. I don't know, man. Something's happening there.
There's
Both.
both. You know what's funny? Nobody in Unto Others smokes weed at all. It's legal here, not federally, of course, but in Oregon, it's legal, and we just just don't partake.
Yeah,
People
I
in
don't
stress
smoke
test
either,
do
so.
smoke weed
People
as
in
well.
stress test do smoke weed.
Yeah, here we tend to just like the cookies and all of that shit. Like we're really big on that stuff.
Yeah, saying there's like a dispensary on every fucking corner now that it's legal. Like it's everywhere. It's crazy.
I blame my son. He brings it home. I see the cookies. They look delicious. I'm a fat ass, so I'm like, fuck
Hungry.
it. I'm not even doing it for the weed. I'm just doing it for the cookies. I just like
Just
the
that
cookies.
little
Anyways,
bit.
I'm getting sidetracked. But anyhow, I saw you guys on that tour, and once again, a great band. Same thing happened with me. I went to see
Thanks, man.
Amorphous. I discover Hoaxed. I had never heard of those ladies before. I find out they're from Portland as well. I'm like, what the fuck is going on there?
Yeah,
I gotta move there.
Kim, the drummer of Hoaxed, is Gabe, the Unto Others singer's wife. If you didn't know that.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow, man, incredible. I'm telling you, like, there's something,
yeah,
you guys are
Fucking
brewing some
power
shit
couple,
there.
man.
yeah. They're great.
Yeah,
They're
they're
really
great.
cool,
Like,
like dark
I,
rock
I
music.
keep discovering outstanding bands every time they come to Toronto on these tour packages, and they're always from that part. Like Vitriol, another band from there as well, like
Yeah,
releasing great music. So, and it's not as just like one genre or one style. It's really diverse. The plethora of styles and sounds that's coming out of there, it's really rich. You guys are really onto something.
Yeah, we're really fortunate out here. We've got
yeah,
it's such a community too that has so many different tendrils into different genres of music and subgenres of extreme music that there's that collective sense of wanting just to play heavy things and collaborate together, which is really nice. I think that
yeah.
really brings up the whole scene and the energy of everyone around us.
And a lot of the same people that grew up in the punk scene and eventually became a huge part of the metal scene here, which is really there's a ton of overlap, obviously. Um, but I feel like especially on the West Coast. I mean, maybe it's the same everywhere. I don't know, but
And for you as a musician, do you write music to exercise something that you need to exercise, which is your creativity? Or at this point in time in your life and in your career, do you write music thinking of playing it live because that's maybe where you feel more comfortable?
well, with Stress Test, I definitely didn't write it thinking about anything. I was writing it thinking about like just wanting to write aggressive music that fit the lyrical, topics that I wanted to touch. It really didn't. I didn't even think that I'd make it an actual band at that point when I first started writing the songs. And like I said, it took like 4 years to really flesh it out and have enough. There's gonna be 10 songs on the record, so I wasn't writing the entire 4 years, but it took a long time before I decided like, okay, let's actually get people and do this and think about playing live. So it just depends, I guess, because yeah, with this project, I was just doing it specifically to scratch a certain itch, to get out, hopeless and feelings of anger and shit like that about the political environment and all the chaos everywhere. And so that's kind of where the band was born from, and the whole idea of it. But yeah.
How's the reception been from people now that these two songs are out? Came out, like I said, July 12th. What's the reception been like?
Yeah, it's been really good. They came out on the 15th, but I fucked it up on with DistroKid, so they got officially came out on like Spotify and everything on the 12th, and I was like, fuck, let's just not say anything about it until the 15th. But yeah, either way.
That's really punk. That's really punk.
I know, yeah. It wasn't my first time. I just, the dementia.
The dementia
something,
Yeah.
but I mean, whatever, it works.
Yeah, but it's been great. People seem to like it. The comments are funny and supportive. A lot of comments, we had one post that was like Oregon thrash metal punk, and a bunch of the comments are like, so you mean crossover? Like, there's a word for that. Like, thanks, fucking pedants.
You got to leave it to the internet. I mean, everybody, opinions are like assholes, right? Everybody's got one. And then when you put a keyboard and internet in front of people, then they just go wild.
Well, it's all good, man. I sit around talking shit on the internet a lot. So what do you know?
Yeah.
So you can't complain when
that's just how it goes too. Everyone's someone else's douchebag.
Yeah, that's right.
It's just the way it is. Trust me, I having a YouTube channel for like 7 years now, reading some of the comments, I find it hilarious. We got to the point where we do a video now every year where we read mean comments that people have about us, because it's just like at some point in time you just have to learn how to laugh about yourself and what people got to say. I mean, it's just
yeah. There's no shortage. You're gonna open the floodgate with any random thing, but
yeah, I think that kind of hits on some of the themes that got me interested in Stress Test too, is like this sense of despair and hopelessness at the demise of the world around us. And then just, playing fun music and doing what you can with that.
What I find it somewhat intriguing to me is that when I was a teenager in late 80s, early 90s, I'm dating myself here, but when I was a teenager listening to thrash at the time, which was my favorite genre, and finding the despair in some of the lyrics and the topics of some of the songs of my favorite bands, you would think that the world would evolve and now we would not have those kind of topics to write about. Now more than ever, I feel like we have those topics to write about and
yeah,
to sing about.
absolutely. I mean, I think that kind of stuff waned in the 90s, but shit's getting real.
Yeah, and there's certain genres of music that allow you to talk about that shit better than none other. And I think you guys really have a sound that allows you to talk about that, not in a preachy way, but more like in like just getting shit off of your chest. At least that's how I interpreted when I was listening to the songs.
That's 100%, man. Yeah, like I mean, the songs are about a lot of things, but it's not like in an accusatory way or like a preachy, I'm not, we can talk about climate change or whatever and pollution and all this shit, but I got fucking plastic all over this place. We're not activists by any means. We're just idiots complaining about the shit that everyone that we're all doing. And when I talk about this shit going on, it's like we are definitely included, if not especially me, like it's just about these things, not necessarily definitely not supposed to be coming from a preachy place. So I'm glad.
No, and it doesn't come across that way. And I think when you don't do it that way, I think it connects with people more, because I think, as if I don't agree with you on something, I'm more willing to listen to your opinion if you're not wagging your finger in front of me telling me that I'm wrong. So I think
Right.
creating songs that you're able to get your points across and you're able to get your vision across, but you're doing it in a way where you just really speaking your mind. You're not necessarily telling me that I'm wrong and you're right. You're just telling me how you feel. I think it resonates a lot more with people these days when we're so divided, and if you're not coming from my camp, then I don't want to hear what you have to say. There's all this kind of mentality here, which I don't really
Right.
subscribe to be honest.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not telling anybody to do anything, I'm just reflecting on the shitty state of from my perspective too, You can feel free to disagree about anything, but
Yeah.
I also I have to say this because since we start chatting, I keep looking at your shirt and it says help on it. I love the fact that you're sitting like in the background and you have this subliminal message of help, almost like you've been kidnapped or
he
something.
doesn't want to be here. Yeah.
Like you're hoping that the video gets out there, and
Make sure this goes out to
something.
people. Please
Shut your fucking mouth.
Please.
It reminds me
Yeah,
of
I
that
actually have him holding a gun
American
in my hand you
soldier
can't
that
see.
I think was in Vietnam that he got caught and he was blinking his eyes Morse code. I don't know if you guys know about that. It's a
Yeah.
true story. It's a true story. The guy was he was doing a video for his captures and whatever, but he was Morse coding with his eye blinking that he was not being treated well and all of this shit. So this kind of reminds me of that very subliminal in the back. Help! Please get me out of here. I don't even want to be in this band.
I've never wanted
Please,
to be in
somebody
this
come and help
band.
me.
No,
This is I don't want to be here.
he's not actually even in the band. I just needed him for photos, so it looks like there's other people in the band.
Well, he's got a look though. Like you have to admit, like regardless of what added value he brings to the band, he's got the look that fits the band.
He sure does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I met Dylan and I met when we were dreadlocked teenagers. I guess I had a mohawk at the time.
You had
You had a mohawk?
green mohawk.
I had a big
and I
green
had,
mohawk, yeah.
shitty, crusty dreadlocks.
Like Cobra Kai mohawk, like the kid in Cobra Kai, that kind of mohawk.
I haven't really seen much of that.
It was
Okay.
fucking charged. It was like this tall.
Yeah, it was good because I was like 5'5" at the time probably.
Then
And
I'd give you some
a whole
height.
2 inches. Yeah, it'd give me the
That and the platforms.
Oh wow, I cannot picture that, to be honest with you. That's quite the visual, the imagery. Maybe if you guys can drag out a picture and put it as the cover of the album.
I'll send you a photo. You can here it is. Put it in later in the video. It'll be right there.
I like that would be like imagining me with hair. You know how difficult that is? I struggle with that daily. I struggle with that. I still remember how it used to look like, and it's yeah, that's when then the dementia kicks in, and then I tend to forget how I got here.
Times are over.
Yeah. Marriage and a mortgage will do this to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
I got one of those, but
I got the other one.
Yeah, together we're
together, but because you guys are dividing and conquering, you're still able to have
yes.
those amazing heads of hair. Yeah, you guys are doing good. You guys are doing good. I gotta ask you a question about an upcoming tour that you're gonna be on with Wasp. Do you guys love to be on bills where no band is like the other?
I mean, I do. Yeah, like who wants to go see 5 death metal bands in a row? And I say that knowing full well that many people do want that. I guess I don't. Whenever I see those kind of bills like in Portland, I'm like, fuck, man, that's a lot of the same thing over and over. But yeah, I'm fucking stoked, man. Wasp. The coolest thing about being in Unto Others, Idle Hands, I've been able to play with, many of my favorite bands of all fucking time. Carcass, Napalm Death, King Diamond, Wasp soon. That's the coolest thing ever for sure.
My son is a huge fan of Unto Others. That's the only shit he listens to since he discovered you guys on that show with Napalm Death and Behemoth and Arch Enemy. You guys left a lasting impact and mark on him. We definitely going to be at Toronto at History. You guys got upgraded from playing at that shitty venue that you played last time where there's stripper poles but no strippers. Completely false advertisement as far as I'm concerned. So they moved you guys now. You're going to be at History, which is Drake's venue, the venue that Drake built, in case you didn't
really.
Well, he physically didn't build it, but yeah, he
must have taken him a while.
He's not really like the construction kind of dude. At least he doesn't come across as such. But apparently, he put some money into the building.
It'll be an honor.
Yeah. So you guys are going to be there. It's a great venue. It's an outstanding venue. But yeah,
Sick.
once again, you're on a bill with Wasp, Death Angel, and then you guys. Like it's just nothing really
Yeah.
matches.
It was funny that the first European tour that we did, it was the headliners were Gulls Weird and Tribulation. So Tribulation makes the most sense, I guess, with us. But and then Uada, the Portland
Oh
Black,
yeah, another band.
yeah, another Portland band. And so was Help, by the way. His shirt, Help,
Yeah.
Our buddy Ryan Neighbors band. It's
This
awesome.
is a really
Oh, so that's a band?
punk rock
Yeah, it's a
band
band
from
from
Portland
Portland.
too.
Wow.
And a cry out for
Is that George W?
Sure is.
That's the man.
Wow, he was young then. That was like before.
Yeah, great painter.
That's what day was this? Something happened. I don't know.
forget, man.
Wow, that's a great T-shirt though. That's a great T-shirt.
It is. They're a great band too. They're worth checking out.
Yeah, they're cool as fuck.
You guys are like I said, you guys are putting out bands left and right there, everything with quality. I expect those guys. With the merch like that, you have to back it up.
Yeah, they do a good job of that.
It's a pretty bold fucking piece of merch there. But yeah, I was just saying on that tour, it was, black metal bands, pretty dark extreme metal, and then us, that was the first time we'd been there, the first time most, or I guess all of those people probably had seen us, the first time a lot of them had heard us, and there was a lot of wrong fucking band, man. Wrong band for this tour. A lot of guys standing there, not stoked. But I think by the end of it, a lot of people seem to warm up, So it's fighting that battle in the beginning of the show every time, but
that was a good accent, man.
Oh
yeah, the accent
wrong
was
fucking
great.
Band. We don't have that problem as much anymore now that people seem to know a little more.
My buddy Daniel Johnson, he was doing your sound when you guys were
Oh
here
yeah,
together tour. We've known each other for ages.
Yeah.
And he was like, dude, just come early, you got to check out this band. But I was like, okay, we'll because it's you, we'll show up and whatever. Best decision we've ever made. Best decision we've ever made. You know what I mean? Outstanding. Like I said, my son is a huge fan of you guys. And I hope one day to see Stress Test maybe playing together on a bill. I mean, let's face the facts. You guys are not afraid of going on tour with whoever, regardless of the genre.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, that would certainly be a wise financial decision as well.
Yeah, because
that's really what this is all about.
Yeah, because I figured that way you already have some members on both bands. Save you guys some money in terms of traveling costs.
That's right. That's right.
Plus, you can make a little bit more money because now you're playing 2 gigs.
Yeah, we could probably make another band too, and just the whole
bill up. Yeah.
That would be hilarious, dude. That's like now you're pushing into a Spinal Tap kind of thing, and I don't want you to go into that.
Our buddy Paul from Blood Incantation, we're actually both from Salem, which is where we are right now. Beautiful Salem, Oregon, capital city. He doesn't live here anymore, but anyway, Paul from Blood Incantation is also from Salem, but they do that with Blood Incantation and Spectral Voice, their other band, shares a lot of members. They done the double tour together, which I always thought was awesome.
Yeah, I feel like we got a lot of really great musician homies that can fill a whole bill just change guitar and bass line up around a little bit.
Their 5 side projects,
Hell and Mania and Mismore, and yeah.
And by the way, where did the name Stress Test come from?
I don't know. I just thought that it really captured the vibe of what I was going for. It's when you hear the record, it'll make more sense too. There's an intro track that really I think ties it all together. But every song, for the most part, is just about something that stresses me the fuck out. So yeah, I mean, a lot of it's about dealing with anxiety and shit like that too. So it fits. So I don't know where it came from or when I thought of it, but I think I just heard it and was like, fuck, that's gotta be what it is. Of course, I learned later there's a few other bands called that, but we're really scraping the bottom of the barrel of like synonyms for death and destruction. So fuck it.
Take what you can get.
I mean, the other ones have to take a back seat to you guys.
That's right.
It's not about who came up with the name first, it's about who does it better.
Yeah.
You guys will do it better, so everybody else has to take a back seat to it.
This will now be used as evidence in court to prove that I like knowingly ripped off their names.
You never know. You never know. You never know. Stranger things have happened. One last question for you guys, and that is, when you guys are not making music, when you're not touring with bands that perhaps other people think you shouldn't be touring with, what the fuck do you guys do for fun?
Fun?
I sit inside a lot and do a lot of drinking and just really kind of wallowing about
Yeah.
a lot of
That sounds
Taking-
very
taking
Portland.
our medicine. Just being really depressed in these dark winters. No, man, I don't know. Just we hang out. I mean, music is the thing that I do most often for fun, but I've got a million other side projects. If you want to interview me about those that haven't released anything, but that's what I do for fun for the most part. But there's a lot,
Yeah. Play a
fuck
lot of
around,
music,
play music,
hang
play
out.
video games. Yeah.
I thought you were going to tell me you read, considering you have a wall of books behind you to make you look a little bit more.
I just bought those over the last week because I knew we were gonna do this interview, and I wanted
That's
to
what I was
see.
thinking. Dude, I was
It's actually a poster that
I think exactly. I was going to say that. I was thinking that maybe you have a poster of a bookshelf there.
Yeah.
No, they're real. I fully
Smart.
committed to the intellectual thing.
Yeah, but then you have a poster of Stallone in Cobra. Like, I mean, like,
Oh man, check it out.
one is not like the other. Oh shit,
Yeah.
and the Lost Boys. All
There
right.
you go. Get the whole.
Oh, we're getting like,
tour.
was it like Cribs
Yeah,
edition?
well,
We're getting a
sure.
Cribs.
Yeah.
MTV Cribs.
Fuck,
All
that's a
right.
great. They should bring that back.
Yeah, they should bring that back for sure. I think it would be really cool. But as long as they don't go to like P. Diddy's crib, I don't think anybody wants to go there these days.
I don't think that's possible anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe, or maybe they can do they have like there's a show on Netflix. Now I'm going completely. Now I feel like I'm doing a video with my son where we go on these weird tangents. There's a show called The Dark Tourism, and it has nothing to do with black people, by the way. Just for those ones. It just has to do with a white guy that goes into these places and he does a lot of white people shit, which is going into probably will get you killed, right?
Yeah.
So I think they could do it like dark cribs where they go to people's houses that have like sketchy passes, like R. Kelly, like P. Diddy, whatever,
Go to
Yeah.
fuck, what's that guy's name from American Beauty? Kevin Spacey. You go to Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, go to his place, all of those guys, like Bill Cosby. Go check out what he's up to these days. You know what I mean? Like, for shits and giggles, why not?
Is he? Didn't he die? Is he alive?
He's still alive.
He's alive. Oh, okay. Well,
yeah. He's still alive.
Premature rip.
Yeah. He's not gone yet. I don't think so. I would have heard something, but no, I think he's still alive.
Too bad.
He's still with us. I mean, for all the bad that he did some good too, I guess. Some kids went to.
But the like years of date rape kind of outweighs all the
It might overshadow the joy that he brought to people watching TV.
I know. It's crazy. I mean, he was at one point America's dad. I mean, so it's just it just goes to show you that
how'd that work out for us?
America's dad and Jello spokesperson.
Oh, that I didn't know.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Maybe that wasn't the case in Canada.
Yeah, I don't think we got him doing Jello shots in Canada. We definitely didn't do that. Man, I wouldn't be doing Jello shots with him, that's for sure, considering
No, not now. Back then you would have.
No. Yeah, you wouldn't even know. You'd wake up hours later feeling a little off.
I don't think I wouldn't be the same. That would be a little bit like Reindeer. Is it Reindeer? That TV show on Netflix too, where the guy gets raped. Watch it. You'll enjoy it.
I don't know.
Sounds like a good one.
Right after this, immediately after this, we're watching it.
It's a family friendly show. It's
It sounds
family friendly rape show.
Yeah. It gets a little rapey here and there in the show, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Wow, we've gone sideways on this chat. Like
maybe just cut the last like 4 minutes completely.
I need to I shouldn't have done mushrooms before sitting in front of the computer. That's where I went wrong here. Guys, it was an absolute pleasure to talk to you. I really thank you for indulging me in this open conversation. This is kind of like how I like to have my chats on the channel. Honestly, it's just really like a bunch of folks talking and not necessarily having this super strict mode of talking with very scripted questions and that kind of shit. So
Right.
I appreciate you guys indulging me on this chat. Thank you very much for taking the time. I really mean it.
Thank
I wish you guys
man.
nothing but the best with Stress Test. I'm looking forward to the record because these two songs, it's like one of those appetizers when you go to a nice restaurant. It opens your appetite, but you really want the steak.
Little taste.
Thanks, man. It's great talking to you, and I hope you like the rest of it too. Thanks so
Yeah.
much.
Thanks
We'll
so
talk
much.
more when the
Looking
album
forward to
comes out. We'll
releasing it.
talk more, and I'll be seeing you in Toronto at History when you guys come and play with Wasp and Death Angel. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. Sounds good. Looking forward to it.
All right, man. Take care, guys. All the best.
Awesome.
You too.
Thank you, man.
See
Have a
ya.
good rest of it.
See ya.